When I first started teaching, I was sent to a secondary school deep in the jungles of Borneo. Sorry, that's the wrong slide. Let me give you a minute to take all of this in. Imagine the sound, the soothing sound of water lapping against the pebbles on the shore. The low hum of the engine of that boat as it passes by. The birds, the crickets, the wild boars. With every breath, the air is clean. It is fresh. It's almost delicious. It's invigorating. And if you're lucky, you might find wild durians for free. Indeed, this is heaven on earth. To get there, I took an hour's flight from my hometown, Kuching, 2 hours express boat ride, and a 1 hour longboat ride, rain or shine. And then I get to the school. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Hey, you used to look so slim. I know. My wife tells me every day. Just because I work in this kind of setting doesn't mean that I'm special. I've had the privilege of working with many amazing teachers from all over all over Malaysia. And currently, there are tens of thousands of teachers in Malaysia doing this each and every day. Their dedication to education is something that we can all be proud of. In this school, we experience a lot of hardships. Can you imagine living for months without electricity, without water in your pipes? What if you were an SPM student? That's the biggest exam of your life. And imagine if 3 months before that exam, the water and power at the school that you're lodging in goes out. Will you be able to perform at your best? Is it really your fault if you don't? At this school, we bathed and washed in a river when there was no electricity. And this river would become muddy every time it rained. If we want to cook, we'd use mineral water that we carried in boxes from town to school. And when it rained, oh man, when it rained, we would all run outside like madmen, grabbing all the containers we could find inside the house just to be the first to arrive at the rain pipe. It's moments like these where we learn to appreciate the simple things in life. Life was hard. Yes, it was. But never before in my life have I found deeper sense of satisfaction in my work. You can literally see the change in your students. From January when they enter your class to November when they go for their holidays. They go from being unable to utter or understand a single word of English. I'm an English teacher, by the way. To being able to respond to, hey, where you go? Teacher, I is go pulang rumah panjai, teacher. They go from failing all of their lives to finally being able to pass. Just pass. Imagine how would that feel for a 13-year-old boy or girl. You see, a piece of gold is still a piece of gold no matter where it is. It's just as valuable when placed on a high pedestal as it is when dumped in the mud and kicked around a little bit. Just pick it up, give it a nice little wash, and voila! You still have a valuable piece of gold. If you are talented, if you are good, it doesn't matter what you do or where you do it. You will shine. You see, we live our lives getting so caught up in being transactional, that is expecting something in return all the time. And we miss the point of a wholesome life. We do what we do, not because of what we can get. No. We do it because of who we are on the inside. Is what you do on the outside reflective of who you are on the inside? You see me standing here in front of you, the teacher, but can you see what is in my heart? Can you tell what my deepest desires are? I am a teacher of that I am and that I am proud. My heart is fixed on nation building. Building a nation through education for all Malaysians. All Malaysians. My deepest desire is to start with our Ibu Pertiwiku, motherland, Sarawak, which is still so backward and so left behind even after more than 55 years of independence. I desire to be part of a movement that turns Sarawak from being number one from the bottom to becoming a beacon of hope in Malaysia and the world. Is education important to you? How important is education to you? I know of a private school in Kuching that is able to raise millions every year just from alumni and parents alone. Every time they need something like tutors for extra classes, experts for robotics, coding, computers for a lab, somebody would step up and provide resources, connections, time, and energy for free. Despite receiving very little support and funding from the government and a lot of hate from certain interest groups, these schools have continued to thrive for decades and will continue to thrive for even more because of contributions, big and small, from concerned citizens. What about national schools? How many are doing the same for national schools? where all of our most needy and critical young Malaysians receive their basic education. How many? In Sarawak, we have 1,020 dilapidated schools. Dilapidated. That's a very strong word. And worse still, there are thousands more that are lacking in ways that are unseen, in ways that are much, much deeper than what you can see. And I'm very concerned with the current trend of middle-class educated parents sending their children to private institutions. You see, the middle class and the educated, they are the check and balance on the government, and they are a check and balance on the education system. When they leave the education system, who that is left behind will have the skills, the ability, the training to be able to keep our schools in check for our shared future. Judging by your quiet response, I think some of you must be thinking, that's nothing to do with me. It's not my problem. I send my kids to private school. We're good. No, you're not. Trust me. No, you're not. National schools are what stands in between a new generation becoming the policemen that protect you, the doctors that treat you, the lawyers that defend you, from becoming the robbers that steal from you, or worse. Worse. If national schools fail, we all fail. Sorry. Forgot what I wanted to say. Let me tell you this truth. When it comes to education, I might get in trouble for saying this, but I'm going to say it because it is the truth and it has to be said. When it comes to education, we cannot rely completely on the Ministry of Education. Hello? Are you awake? We cannot rely completely on schools. We cannot rely completely on teachers like me. Every person, every organization has its own agenda. If we want to see our education prepare our young for an unseen, uncertain future, every citizen has to play their part. By playing their part, I don't mean banging on your phones, commenting on newspaper articles that you have not even read. Some of you do it. Look around. They may be right there next to you. Educated citizens of Malaysia, we need to activate. We are the ones who will bring change, not the politicians. We, the rakyat. In developed nations, when they encounter a problem with their education system, the people roll up their sleeves, they join hands, and they take action. We are going to take action today. And therefore, on this TEDxKenyalang stage, I am excited to invite you to participate in the formation of a Facebook group, Allies of Education Sarawak. At the moment, there are only 3 people in the group. Myself, my wife Michelle, maybe my grandmother. I hope that you will consider joining. This group will serve as a platform for us like-minded people together to start small, take baby steps, and though the road may be hard and paved with suffering, we will win. Because failure is not an option. We have too much to lose. So what are you going to do? Do you see all the trouble that we're in? Are you ready? If you have been looking to be part of something bigger than yourself, and you believe in the power of education to transform lives, this is your time. Rise up, fellow Malaysians. We are at the bottom. And you know what? There is nowhere else to go but up. Agi hidup, agi ngelaban. Ho ha! I have faith in us, Malaysians. And I pray every day that each and every one of our children will be able to reach their fullest potential in our country. Every day. Thank you.